Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Huber, also known as Solo Travel Girl, and I've been documenting my experience of using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes. Now before I get into this week's update, I just want to remind you about my disclosure, or my disclaimer, that I am not a healthcare professional. I don't have any medical training at all. I am just documenting and sharing my personal experience and opinion about using Mounjaro. Also, I have no relationship with the drug manufacturer. All right, so before I get into this week's update, how are you all doing in the first week of the new year? Have you accomplished any goals or made any resolutions? Well, I'm going to share one of the goals that I accomplished today. It has something to do with this hat. But yeah, it's going to be a great year, right? I mean, I'm tiptoeing into it, being cautiously optimistic that 2023 is going to be the best year in this decade. Fingers crossed, right? Okay, so I just finished up month 7 on Mounjaro. So that's 28 weeks that I've been injecting myself with this medication. And I just finished up week 12 at the 10 milligram dose. Now, I didn't lose any weight from last week, so I'm still at 140 pounds. So that means I've lost well over 50 pounds on Mounjaro, 57 according to my calculator, or according to my scale, 57 pounds that I've lost. And that's insane to me because that's almost 60 pounds. I mean, I really didn't even think I'd be losing 10 pounds on this. And obviously, my intention was to lower my A1C and my glucose. I mentioned it before in other videos that when the doctor mentioned that weight loss is a side effect, I didn't think it would be this significant. So I did have a scary situation happen this week. I got down to like 138 earlier in the week, and there was one day that I hardly ate anything. I had breakfast and that was it. My schedule was just so busy. I didn't take time to eat, so I had to go into Walmart to get some pet food, and I was walking down the aisle and things just got really weird. I got lightheaded, and I just had this vision of me falling in the middle of the aisle. Now that didn't happen, but I felt like I was gonna pass out, so I just had to like pause what I was doing, make sure, keep myself composed. So that would be really embarrassing, and I know it would be scary, and obviously it would indicate there's something really wrong, but I just think it was my body. I ran out of fuel. So I made it out of Walmart okay. I did grab a candy bar. It was one of those Reese's peanut butter cups with the potato chips in it. I've never had one, so I wanted to try it. It was an excuse. But I made it home, and I did put back on those 2 pounds throughout the week. But it just woke me up to remind me that even though I'm not hungry, it doesn't mean that I should be going all day without eating anything, and I need to be very mindful and make sure I'm refueling my body with the most nutritious food as possible. So that summarizes my food. Also, I'm still trying Bistro MD, and slowly I'm posting those videos. And then I did post a video yesterday about a smoothie I made in my blend jet. And it was I love smoothies for breakfast, but usually I have spinach, blueberries, protein powder, and almond milk in them. So this one was a different recipe, and it was for a new cookbook from America's Test Kitchen. I guess recipe book is more appropriate than cookbook. Anyway, so that's my nutrition. Exercise, getting back into PiYo, checking out Beachbody to see what other options might be good for me. I want to get more into strength training and seeing if that will help put things into place as a 50-plus-year-old woman. I do feel that I have a lot of excess skin. Got some bat wings going on here, so want to see if I could do something for that. It might be too late. And that's, I'm working on that video about things I wish I would have known. so this is one of it, as to perhaps I could have prevented that. And I think maybe a slower weight loss would have helped with skin elasticity and keeping hydrated, drinking more water. But that's a theory. I need to do a little more research on that. All right, so another exercise, walking my dog twice a day. And actually, I got up at 3:30 this morning because I checked off something on my goals list. I got up at 3:30 so I can go walk my dog and get down to where I needed to be. I went fishing today, which is not new. That was not one of my goals. But my goals are to try as many new things as possible. And I had the opportunity last month to sign up for a kayak fishing trip during a women's meetup. And I'm like, well, I've never done that before, so I think that'd be cool. Plus, I get to see some friends from the industry. And that's what I did. I went down to Pine Island today, which was going through Matlacha, which, by the way, you can still see the devastation from Hurricane Ian. And that's part of the reason why I went too, is because I wanted to try something new. Wanted to see some friends, and then I wanted to support businesses impacted by Hurricane Ian. And I accomplished all of that today. Now, one of the organizers of this meetup is Captain Debbie Hansen of She Fishes Too, and this is her hat. And Debbie has really established herself as a expert in the fishing industry, not necessarily just for other women anglers, but just for the angling community as a whole. She has her own radio show. I'm pretty sure she has a YouTube channel. I know she has a website, Facebook, and she's designed a rod. She's into fly fishing and I guess cast fishing. So Debbie's actually been a friend that I've known for several years, and for a few years ago she did give me this hat, and I wish I wore it today. I didn't even think about it until we're having lunch today, and one of the other ladies, she was wearing a She Fishes Too hat. So that's why I'm wearing it tonight, is to give a shout out to Captain Debbie Hansen, because she is just awesome. But it was a lot of fun, and I did catch a fish. I'm going to show you a picture of that fish. Don't laugh, because yes, it is very small. I know if you put things closer to the camera, it's supposed to look bigger. So it's a little speckled trout that I caught. And I actually caught, I'm going to say I caught 4. 2 of those fish actually made it into the kayak. 2 others self-released. We went out with Gulf Coast Kayaks in Pine Island. I don't know if you can hear my dog groaning, but anyway, we went out with Gulf Coast Kayaks, and my guide, his name is Elon, and his last name escapes me, but Fish and Dips is his YouTube channel. So in the description, I'm going to put a link to Captain Debbie's YouTube channel, which I'm pretty confident she has, and then along with Fish and Dips channel. So it was a lot of fun. You know, they don't call it catching, they call it fishing. So it took a little bit before the fish were biting. It was very cold this morning. It was like in the 50s. I know some of you in the country, that's warm, but in Southwest Florida, that's a little chilly. But again, it was fun. It was a new experience, and new experiences, that's what keeps us going in life, right? Trying new things and just expanding our horizon and just making our overall box and world just a little bit bigger. All right, so I haven't talked about glucose yet, have I? No, my glucose has been good. It's been in the 90s and low 100s in the morning, so that's really good for me. I do have another blood draw at the end of January, and so fingers crossed that my A1C will be I don't know if it's going to be less, because you know I had Christmas and a lot of food I shouldn't have been eating, but I'm looking for something in the 6s, looking for A1C in the 6s. So fingers crossed that I will accomplish that, and I have a couple weeks until that blood draw. All right, weight loss, glucose, exercise, nutrition. All right, I want to give you an update on my I mentioned a couple of weeks ago and last week about the growth on my thyroid and how my doctor wants me to have that biopsied. So this is kind of a long story, and you know, the healthcare system is just kind of messed up, so to say. Long story short, my doctor sent over the information on December 16th. The radiology place, they claimed that they didn't receive the information and that I was not in their system. This is on January 3rd. January 3rd, I asked my doctor to send the information over. They did. I called the radiology place again later that afternoon on January 3rd, and they said that the radiologist needs to review all the documentation and fill the form of the, I know I called it a sonogram, but it was an ultrasound, needs to review the ultrasound, and then that they will contact me. So that was on January 3rd, and I still haven't heard from them. So that was on Tuesday. This is Sunday. Yeah, I think it's January 8th, right? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I haven't heard from them. What's today? January 7th. Anyway, it's Sunday, and I haven't heard from them. Maybe I'll hear from them tomorrow. Maybe I'll hear from them Tuesday. So that hasn't been resolved yet. And then this is amazing news. I'm so excited that fingers crossed, that I will be part of the First World Society again. I had someone look at my water system yesterday on Saturday, and if you've been watching my other videos, you know that Hurricane Ian took out my water system, and that I have this weird temporary solution where I need to go out and turn on my circuit breaker, and then the hose is running outside because that's relieving pressure from coming inside, and then the water has all these icky minerals and it smells, and my bathtubs and my sinks, they're getting this like yellow film buildup in them, and the water is coming out black. Well, not black, but it's leaving like black residue and stuff. So anyway, the water person, he looked at my system and he said, "This is an emergency. Why didn't you contact us sooner?" I'm like, "Well, I reached out a month ago, and I reached out again." He's like, "Well, we've been busy." I said, "I know, that's totally fine. I've been patient and understanding. I've been trying to." I started calling companies a week after, not quite a week after Hurricane Ian. I guess it was like that Monday after Hurricane Ian, and I couldn't get in touch with anyone, or I'm getting answering services because they were all in the same situation too, and that they didn't have any phone service, they didn't have any internet service. So anyway, because of this is a emergency situation, hopefully Tuesday they will replace my system. So that's very awesome. Now insurance says, I don't even know what they said. They basically sent me a letter saying that the damages that I have, all the damages in my house, do not equal to the equivalent of my deductible. My deductible is $4,000. However, the insurance did not include an itemization as to what they say things should cost. So my water system is going to cost just under $4,000. So if you take in all the other damages, the exterior damages, because I don't have any interior damages. Well, I'm finding things as I'm going around, but they're minor. But it would be over $4,000. Anyway, I will get it taken care of, and I will just move on and hope for a lighter hurricane season in the future. But those are the big updates that I have. No biopsy scheduled, but I am going to have clean water, I hope, very, very soon. Yeah. And it was one other thing I wanted to mention is that I know there's a lot of other YouTube channels out there, influencers, and TikTok. I don't use TikTok just because of the whole security thing. I went through the FBI Citizens Academy a few years ago, right before the COVID. In 2019, I took it before COVID shut everything down, and just learning about things, and that I knew to stay away from TikTok. And when people are saying stay away from TikTok because of the security, I mean, yeah, the other social media channels, you are giving up some of your privacy. However, with TikTok, you can let them into your Ring, you can let them into your Alexa, you can let them into your, obviously your phone, your Siri and stuff like that, so they can be monitoring you. But I will stop that. But I know there's a lot of other influencers out there who are documenting their experience about Mounjaro. And I don't, obviously I support everyone doing it because the more information out there, the better. But I came across a channel called Man in the Mounjaro. And obviously Mounjaro is supposed to be pronounced Mounjaro. So Man in the Mounjaro, and I've been mispronouncing Mounjaro, which I will continue calling Mounjaro because to me it makes sense, M-O-U-N. Anyway, he has a great video explaining the whole $25 card because, anyway, he was listening to a doctor who actually called the toll-free number for Lily to find out information about the $25 discount card because that has changed from those of us who were early adopters, I guess you could say early users. You know, back in May and June, I came on board in June using Mounjaro. There's been changes to that card, and I'm sure some of you are aware of that, but he has a really good explanation. So I'll put a link to his channel or tag him or whatever in my description so you can go over there and check out his channel and find that video as well. All right, well, I hope everyone is doing well. I do appreciate you being here, and thank you for your comments. I'm going through them again, and yeah, you know, have an awesome week. I hope week 2 of 2023 is even better than week 1, and you know, be safe, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will catch you next week. Bye.